Good evening, and blessed Advent, everybody. I wrote a story about St. Nicholas, a saint we celebrate in December in the Advent season. His feast day is on December 6th. You probably more commonly know St. Nicholas as Santa Claus, the good, kindly saint who brings about presents on Christmas Day. But I wrote this tale about St. Nicholas inspired by some of the legends about the very real St. Nicholas, truly a Christian and holy Christian bishop who lived in many centuries ago and who sought to serve the Lord and was particularly devoted to the mystery of Christ's incarnation, his birth at Christmas, and the wonders of that mystery, and especially cared for the care of children. So inspired by this, by the saint's example, and as a way to help draw us more deeply into the Advent and the Christmas season, I was inspired to write this tale of the quest of St. Nicholas. This will be in the set of 5 videos going through the course of the story. This is a story for children, but also for the child at heart. So adults who may just want a nice, warm fireside tale for the Advent or Christmas season, this is for you as well. So, may you enjoy as you listen to, perhaps curl up with a nice hot cup of warm cider or hot chocolate or hot tea as you enjoy this tale. The Quest of St. Nicholas by myself, Father Kevin Earleywine. Chapter 1. Basilios. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Basilios. Basilios was a good boy at heart, but many bad things had happened to him in his life. Basilios could barely remember his mother because she'd left when he was very young. He did not know why or how she left, but she did. And Basilios was left alone with his father. It was not long after this that Basilios' father had grown very unkind and even cruel. He would often hurt Basilios, which is a very terrible thing for a father to do. But when the good Bishop Nicholas found out about the bad things happening to Basilios, he rescued him and brought him to a new home with new parents named Theophilus and Theodora. Having no children of their own, they loved Basilios like their very own son. And this was the first time in Basilios' short life that he remembered ever being truly happy. For not only did his new parents truly love him and care for him, but the good Bishop Nicholas also continued to visit him regularly, often with little treats or gifts. Basilios loved the good bishop dearly, and saw him very much like a kind, loving grandfather. But unfortunately, Basilios' happiness did not last long. For one day, his new parents told him that he would be a big brother, that soon there would be a new little baby brother or sister. They had expected Basilios to be happy about this good news, but he was not. In fact, each day afterwards, Basilios grew more and more unhappy, and bitterness grew in his heart. Now, one might think that when the baby actually came, and Basilios was able to meet his new baby brother, that he would grow happy again. But he did not. Now you may wonder why Basilios was so bitter. Why something that should be so good and happy would seem so upsetting to him. And I will tell you. You see, when someone has been badly hurt in their life and not treated with love by their parents, the hurt can become like an evil sliver of glass that sticks in their heart and in their eye. It is hard to see, yet it continues to be irritating and painful, and taints everything that you see. And it can make them start to see things backward. What is good can seem to be bad. And worse yet, what is bad can seem to be good. And no matter how much love someone shows them later, it can make it hard for them to see that love. because this little sliver of hurt makes a person think that there is not enough love to go around. So when other people show love to others, the person becomes afraid that those people will spend all that love on others and that there won't be enough love left for the person themselves. And so this little sliver of hurt in the heart of Basilios made him believe that his baby brother would take all the love from his new parents, and that there wouldn't be any love left for him, which, as we know, is quite untrue. For the love of parents never lessens for their children, but only grows for each and every child they have, no matter how many. Such is one of the many wondrous and beautiful things about love. But this belief led Basilios to behave badly. He grew more and more bitter and sour. Some days he would just put on a sour face and be quiet and miserable, refusing to respond to his parents when they tried to talk to him. Other days, he would be loud and throw big tantrums. One cold winter night, Basilios decided to bundle up and sneak out of the house into the night. He wasn't sure why, as a sliver of hurt in the heart can make it difficult to understand yourself and why you are doing what you are doing. As he was walking out in the snow, he encountered a strange figure. A tall figure in a dark, hooded cloak came toward him, his hood so large that Basilios could not see the figure's face. The footsteps of the figure came in a strange, uneven sound, as if one of his feet were made of heavy wood or stone. Shuffle clop, shuffle clop, shuffle clop. The figure came towards him. Basilios, the figure said in a deep, raspy voice. Yes? Hello. Do I know you? Asked Basilios, a little afraid, but also a bit baffled that this figure knew his name. Basilios, Basilios. You may not know me, but I know you. I know as you do that you are not wanted here. You have never been wanted. Your mother left you and your father didn't want you. Your new adopted parents only wanted you because they didn't have any other children of their own. But now that they have a baby, they don't want you anymore. Excuse me, sir, but who are you? Asked Basilios. He was still a little afraid, but he was also strangely drawn to this figure, because he knew and spoke of the things hidden in Basilios' heart that he himself did not know how to say. I am called by many names. One of my names is Krampus. You may not know me, but I know you, Basilios, and many like you. I collect all unwanted children, because I want them. You are not wanted here, so I have come to take you to a place where you are wanted. Will you come with me and let me show you? Basilios took one last glance over his shoulder at his home, where he was loved so deeply, though he couldn't see it because of the sliver of hurt and fear in his eye and heart. Then he turned back to the figure, and wiping the tears from his eyes and sniffles from his nose, for he had been crying, though he had not realized it until now, he miserably nodded to the strange figure before him, this figure called Krampus. As soon as he nodded, the Krampus laughed with a scary and cruel laugh, and swept Basilios up into a big dirty rucksack and carried him off into the cold darkness of the wintry night. Chapter 2. The Quest begins. Basilios' adopted parents, Theophilus and Theodora, with the help of many others, searched for days but found no trace of Basilios. One day, while they were searching, a great blizzard came upon their little village, and they were forced to stop searching early that night, as it was nearly impossible to see in the wind and the snow. Everyone who was helping with the search now crowded into the little cottage of Theophilus and Theodora for shelter from the cold. They started a roaring fire in the hearth and cooked a late supper with hot food. Normally, such a sight would be a merry and joyous occasion. Family and friends, on the night of a cold blizzard, gathered snug and cozy around a warm fireplace with good food and drink. But on this night, despite the good food and warm drink and roaring fire, it was a quiet and somber gathering. Their faces were grim and anxious, and they talked very little, as they all worried in their thoughts about their beloved little Basilios. The only sound in that little cottage, besides the blizzarding winds, was the crackling of fire, the creaking of chairs, and the clinking of silverware. They were all so lost in their thoughts that they nearly fell out of their chairs when they heard a loud banging on the door. In fact, one elderly fellow, an eccentric uncle of Theodora, was so startled that he toppled right out of his chair, and his mug of hot chocolate flew out of his hands, splattering the cocoa everywhere on everyone around him, and he landed with his feet sticking straight up in the air. In fact, everyone would have laughed at the sight had it not been such a sad occasion. "Who on earth would be outside on a night such as this?" wondered Theodora out loud as she went to answer the door. She opened the door, and there stood a figure with a red cloak and a flowing white beard, whipping and billowing in the winter wind. He leaned on a walking stick, and with the other hand held a rucksack slung over his shoulder. "Bishop Nicholas, come in, come in." Nicholas surveyed the room, taking in the group of people. The young couple, Theophilus and Theodora, Theodora's elderly parents, and several other friends and relatives, and the baby who slept quietly in a small crib next to Theodora's chair. With the recent birth of a baby and the arrival of their beloved friend Nicholas, whom they had not seen for some months, this again should have been a joyous occasion. And while they wore warm, welcoming smiles, Nicholas could see the sadness and worry behind their eyes. Theodora graciously ushered Nicholas inside, setting him on a cushioned chair by the warm, blazing fire. She quickly served up warm food and drink, for which he graciously thanked her. Then she and her husband, Theophilus, settled down in chairs by the fire. "Nicholas, what are you doing traveling in such weather?" "As soon as I heard about Basilios, I came as quickly as I could. And I wasn't about to let a little bit of weather keep me from getting here." Nicholas, having retired from being an active bishop, had spent several months in solitude and quiet prayer, his only interactions with society being regular visits to the home of this little family whom he loved so dearly. He did so to check in on them, Theophilus, Theodora, and little Basilios, and as well as Theodora's elderly parents who moved in with them. Theophilus and Theodora had given him food and supplies so he could be nourished in his prayerful solitude. They had sent for Nicholas as soon as they realized Basilios was missing. It is not only my love and concern for Basilios alone that drove me to travel through wind and snow, though that certainly was reason enough. But unfortunately, I believe Basilios' disappearance to be connected to something bigger, a greater work of darkness and evil. I've heard rumors of disappearances of children from other nearby villages. In fact, on my journey here, I confirmed those rumors to be true. There is some greater thing at work here. He paused, and a thoughtful look came over his face as he looked out the window. For the last number of years, I have felt in my heart an ever-growing darkness that is settling over the world. I don't understand what it is, but it's there. And as this darkness grows, there is... He trailed off as he sought to find the words. There is this call in my heart. I think I am being called somewhere, that I have some role to play in this great cosmic battle. That as this sense of darkness grows, so does the creeping feeling that I have some part to play in all of this. But a part that is going to take all of me, everything I am. It might even destroy me. I don't know what or how or why, but I just know, more and more, that there is to be a great journey that will demand and take everything that I am. "Nicholas, what are you saying?" asked Theophilus. "This pull in my heart is some calling to some great quest to battle the darkness that is settling over the world. I believe it to be connected with the disappearance of Basilios and the other children from the neighboring villages. I believe I am to go north, and something deep in my heart tells me that as I venture north, I will find my way to both this force of darkness and to Basilios and the other missing children. I will find them and will save them. Even if it destroys me, I must go. This is my quest." "Well then, we will go with you." Nicholas smiled fondly at his faithful friends. "Oh, how much I would love your company on this journey, but you must not. You must stay here. You have your new little one, your baby, to take care of and provide for. And you have your lives here that you must tend to. And besides, you need to be here in case Basilios does find his way back. But that doesn't mean that you will simply wait and not aid me in combating this darkness. Certainly not. You must also share in this combat by faithfully praying each day. Pray to the King who is the incarnate light, this great mystery we celebrate during this darkest and coldest time of year. Pray for strength and guidance for me. Pray for the protection and safe return of little Basilios and the children, and also ask the intercession of his holy mother, the Theotokos. As for me, I must go north, and I must go tonight. I don't know where this journey will lead, nor how it will end, but there is a deep voice in my heart beckoning me forth into the great cold darkness. I must go, and there I will find Basilios. But I know this quest of mine is not only to save Basilios, but many children who have somehow been lost to the darkness. And I will not return until I have found Basilios." Tears filled their eyes, but so did a new flickering light of determined hope. For they greatly trusted this holy bishop, Nicholas, this great wonder-worker, whom they loved with all the fierce love of children for their good father. Nicholas rose and embraced them and blessed them. "Goodbye, my dear friends, and God be with you." And with his crimson cloak swirling around him, and with his walking stick in hand, that holy bishop, St. Nicholas, the guardian and protector of children, ventured out into the wintry night to find and fight the fierce power of night and darkness that had captured children and their hearts. He set forth to set them free.